It's the morning of April 17th, 2012, in Dixon, Illinois, a quiet town on the Rock River. 100 miles west of Chicago, the day starts the way it always does. People drive to work past the same streets they've driven past their whole lives. Kids walk to the same schools. The mayor sits behind a cluttered desk on the second floor of City Hall. Just after 9 o'clock, 3 men in standard issue FBI suits walk through the front door. They chat with the mayor, he smiles, he nods. And then they walk downstairs to find the woman they came for. Her name is Rita Crundwell. She has worked in this building since she was a teenager. She has been the city's comptroller and treasurer for nearly 30 years. She knows every account, every budget line, every number in Dixon's financial records because she wrote most of them herself. The FBI agents place her under arrest. The charge, wire fraud and embezzlement. The amount, $53 million. In a town whose entire annual budget was $8 million. Rita Crundwell had been stealing from Dixon, Illinois for 22 years. And for 22 years, not a single person had caught her. To understand Rita Crundwell, you need to understand what Dixon, Illinois thought she was. This is Ronald Reagan's hometown. White picket fences, American flags in front yards. The kind of place where people still know their neighbours' names and leave their doors unlocked. A town built on exactly the kind of small town trust that Rita Crundwell would spend 2 decades exploiting. She grew up on a farm just outside Dixon, started working at City Hall as a work-study student in high school 1970, still a teenager and never really left. By 1983, she had worked her way up to comptroller and treasurer. The person responsible for managing every dollar the city of Dixon collected, spent and saved. She was appointed at 30 years old. To the people of Dixon, this was not a bureaucratic hire. This was one of their own. A Lee County girl who had started at the bottom, worked her way up and earned the trust of the entire town. She was also by then a champion horse breeder. Her operation, RC Quarter Horses, had started to attract attention across the country. Her horses won competitions. She hauled them in custom trailers, drove them to shows in Oklahoma City, and started building a name for herself in the quarter horse circuit as a serious competitor. The local newspaper covered her victories. The mayor talked about how proud Dixon was of her success. Nobody asked where the money was coming from. Here is what Rita Crundwell's life actually looked like. On one side, a modest government employee earning $80,000 a year, sitting behind a desk at Dixon City Hall, reviewing invoices, approving payments, filing financial reports. On the other side, a woman living the life of a multi-millionaire. A 20,000 square foot barn on a sprawling ranch outside Dixon. An arena for training and showing horses. Stalls for over 400 animals, including some of the finest quarter horses in the United States. A $2.1 million Liberty Coach motorhome she bought in 2009. Custom-made furniture in her home, including a chandelier crafted from old revolvers and a floor inlaid with her own initials. A vacation home in Florida. Jewelry, furs, luxury vehicles. Her horses won 52 world championships. She became, in the words of one reporter who covered the circuit, the undisputed grande dame of competitive quarter horse showing. In Oklahoma City, at the American Quarter Horse Association World Championship Show, she was a celebrity. Photographers took her picture. She accepted ribbons in front of crowds. And then she drove home to Dixon, to her desk, and went back to managing the budget of a town that couldn't afford to fix its streets. Because Rita Crundwell was not just stealing from Dixon, she was doing something more brazen than that. She was sitting in budget meetings, looking city council members in the eye, and telling them there was no money. The economy was down. The state was late on payments. Belts needed to be tightened. Dixon cut services. Employees went without raises for 2 years. The police department asked for a new radio system because there were dead spots across town where officers couldn't reach each other. Rita Crundwell told the police chief, "I'm sorry, we don't have the money in the budget." The city closed its public swimming pools because it couldn't afford to operate them. Rita Crundwell went home and had a swim in the private pool at her ranch, the one with the sauna. The mechanics of the fraud were almost insultingly simple. In 1990, Crundwell created a bank account at Fifth Third Bank in Dixon's name. She called it the Reserve Sewer Capital Development Account, the Röskede. It sounded official. It sounded like exactly the kind of obscure municipal account that nobody would ever question, and nobody did. In her role as comptroller, Crundwell had unchecked control over the city's finances. She moved money from Dixon's legitimate investment accounts into the money market account, and from there into the Röskede. Then she spent it. 169 separate transfers over 22 years, an average of $2.5 million every single year. In 2008, at the peak of the financial crisis, the same year she told Dixon it needed to cut spending because money was tight, she stole $5.8 million in a single year. Nobody audited the Röskede, nobody questioned it, nobody even knew it existed, because the only person who ever looked at the full picture of Dixon's finances was Rita Crundwell. She had built a system that only worked as long as she was the only one inside it. For 22 years, that was enough. In the fall of 2011, Rita Crundwell left Dixon to attend a horse show. It was routine. She travelled constantly for competitions. When she was gone, her deputy treasurer, a woman named Kate Swanson, covered her responsibilities. One of those responsibilities was pulling the city's bank statements for a council meeting. Swanson called Fifth Third Bank and asked for all accounts held in the city of Dixon's name. The bank sent everything, including a statement for an account Swanson had never seen before. The Reserve Sewer Capital Development Account. She looked at the transactions. Large sums of money, no clear source, no legitimate city purpose, horses, jewellery, personal expenses. I looked at it, Swanson later said, and this wasn't our account. But it had the city of Dixon's name on it, and I immediately thought it doesn't look legitimate. She took it to the mayor took it to the FBI. For the next 5 months, while Rita Crundwell continued travelling to horse shows, collecting trophies, and wiring money into her secret account, federal investigators quietly built their case. They watched every transaction. They traced every dollar. They mapped 22 years of fraud into a single airtight file. And on the morning of April 17th, 2012, they walked into Dixon City Hall in their standard issue suits. The mayor later described the moment the agents brought Crundwell in. "I was looking right at her," he said. And the look on her face never changed. Absolutely never changed. Rita Crundwell was arrested at City Hall. She was taken from the building where she had worked for 40 years, past the colleagues she had looked in the eye every morning, past the budget reports she had falsified for 2 decades. When the news broke the next day, Dixon went quiet. Not with anger, with something closer to grief. Because this wasn't a stranger who had broken in and taken something. This was Rita. The girl who had grown up down the road. The woman who had managed the town's money longer than some residents had been alive. The person Dixon had trusted so completely that nobody ever thought to check her work. The FBI seized her assets. More than 400 horses auctioned off. The $2.1 million motorhome. The Florida vacation home. The jewellery. The custom furniture. Everything that had been built on Dixon's money was dismantled and sold. In November 2012, Crundwell pleaded guilty to wire fraud. On February 14, 2013, Valentine's Day, a federal judge sentenced her to 19 years and 7 months in prison, the largest municipal fraud in United States history. There was one final twist. In December 2024, President Biden commuted her sentence as part of a sweeping end-of-term clemency action. She had served 8 years of a 20-year sentence. Dixon's city manager issued a statement the same day. "This is a complete travesty of justice and a slap in the face for our entire community." Rita Crundwell walked free. Dixon, Illinois is still recovering. The town has clawed back about $40 million of the stolen funds. Streets that went unpaved for years have been repaired. Services that were cut have been slowly restored. But some things don't come back. The trust that Rita Crundwell spent 40 years building and 22 years weaponising doesn't get auctioned off and returned to the city. One resident who grew up admiring her in the horse community said it plainly after the commutation: everyone believed in her family. No one looked at her documents. Because it was Rita. That's how she did it for 22 years.